So let's take a look how to stop using Ubuntu Desktop as a operating system for any of your Linux lab machines. We'll use Debian Minimal for that. Ubuntu is Debian based operating system and Debian is the parent operating system. So let's create one in VirtualBox. Select the Debian operating system ISO. Click on skip unattended installation. Give it 1 GB of memory, 2 vCPUs, 300 GB of disk space. It's a thin disk, so no need to worry about that. 300 GB of disk space. So take a look at the summary and hit finish. Power on the virtual machine. While the machine is being started, you have to click in the machine and hit the up or down arrow key. Ensure you do not select graphical install. Select install and hit enter. Select the language. Select your region. Key map. Let's give our machine a name. I'm going to keep it Debian. Give it a domain name, test.local. You can give anything. Give it a password. I'm hitting tab to move around. Create a user. I'm going to call it a user 1. Again, give it a password. Remember the password that you have given. Let's partition the disk. Use guided. Hit enter twice. Again, put all files into one partition. Hit enter. Finish the partitioning. Say yes to write the changes. So the system may ask you if you want to scan additional media. Say no to that. Say yes to scan the network mirrors. Select the closest mirror to you. This will download some additional packages before you can configure your Debian system. You can choose whether or not to participate in a package survey. I'll say no to this. Okay, now this is the interesting screen. Here we are going to hit space to deselect the desktop environment. We are not going to install any desktop environment or any standard utilities. All we are going to use is the SSH server. SSH server we require for remotely connecting over SSH to this system. So we'll select SSH server. Other than that, disable everything else and hit continue. This will install a bare minimum version of Debian. On top of it, you can configure any software that you want to run in your Linux labs. So as you can see, the CPU usage, the memory usage is very minimal, and even though the system is being installed. Once the system is being installed and stabilized, the resource utilization for this VM is extremely low. You can install the grub loader to the primary drive. Say yes to this one. Don't select enter drive manually. Hit the down arrow key, select the device, dev SDA, and that is it. So now this machine is being it's finishing the installation. It will take like a couple of seconds. All right, so our base machine installation is completed. Hit continue. Now see how fast this machine boots. It takes less than 6-7 seconds to start the VM. Of course, this will vary depending on your CPU and the resources, but as you can see, CPU utilization during the boot there is some, but after it stabilizes, it will be very minimal. Memory is just using 4 GB, out of which it was already being used. So now our system is up within maybe less than 6 seconds. Let's log in with user 1 and whatever password you have provided, and your system is now ready to use. So now we are going to connect to this machine using putty. The reason is why, because in this console it is hard to copy paste or interact with the system. So let's find out what is the IP address of this system. Okay. It's using a NATed IP address. This time we have created using NAT. So to connect to this system, you have to go to the properties of this, go to the settings, go to network, click on port forwarding, click on add, host port 22, guest port 22, click OK and OK again, say allow access, go to putty, say localhost on port number 22, click connect and then accept. Here you can enter your username and password, that was user1 and whatever password you have given, and you are now connected. So this way, this machine that you are going to run is extremely fast. You can install all different Linux based softwares onto it. The only thing is that it will not have a GUI, and when you are running any Linux based software, usually you do not interact with the GUI. Okay. So I hope this is helpful to set up your own lab machines, and we'll discuss further how to use this in various scenarios in our upcoming sessions.